In May 1999, a 13-year-old girl walked into a Hong Kong police station claiming to be haunted by the ghost of a woman who had been brutally tortured to death. At first, the police dismissed her tale as nothing more than a dream, but then she revealed it was the ghost of a woman she helped murder. Officers followed the girl to an apartment in the rundown Kowloon district, where they uncovered a Hello Kitty doll stuffed with the decapitated skull of a woman and a fridge filled with her insides. This is the case of the Hello Kitty murder, one of Hong Kong's most depraved crimes. Fan Man-yee was born in 1976 in Shenzhen, China. Abandoned by her family at a young age, she was raised in an all-girls orphanage in Ma Tau Wai. At 15, Fan was forced to leave the orphanage due to age restrictions, leaving her homeless and struggling to survive. She turned to drugs and became involved in street prostitution. By age 21, she had secured a job at a brothel named Romance Villa in Sham Shui Po. In 1996, Fan married one of her clients, a fellow drug addict named Ng Chi Yuen. 2 years later, in November 1998, she gave birth to their son. However, her marriage was troubled, and her neighbors frequently heard the sounds of them fighting and their child crying. Fan decided to turn her life around in order to protect her son and provide him a safer life. She quit drugs and prostitution, left her abusive husband, and found a job as a hostess in a nightclub named Empress Karaoke Club. Due to these sacrifices, her reduced income left her struggling to support her and her child. In early 1999, desperate for money, Fan stole a wallet containing approximately $500 from Chan Man-lok, a 34-year-old drug dealer and member of the Triads, an organized crime syndicate in Hong Kong. Fan had met Chan in 1997, and he had become a regular client, often paying her for lengthy sexual sessions and ice binges, more commonly known as crystal meth. When Chan discovered the theft, he demanded she return the money along with an additional $1,300 as compensation. Although Fan returned the stolen amount immediately, she needed more time to gather the extra fee. On March 17, 1999, Chan's henchmen Lung Shing-cho and Leung wai-lun abducted Fan. Chan planned to force her into prostitution under his control to repay her debt, but the situation quickly spiraled out of control. Fan was taken to an apartment on Granville Road in Sim Sha Tsui, rented by Chan, but owned by two uninvolved individuals. Over the next month, she endured horrifying abuse. She was beaten, raped, and beaten with metal bars, sometimes while being strung up by electrical wires and hung from a hook in the ceiling, so she could be used as a punching bag. A 13-year-old girl named Lao Ming Fong, known as Ah Fong, Chan's girlfriend, also participated in the abuse. At one point, when Ah Fong was visiting them in the apartment, she witnessed Chan kick Fan 50 times in the head. Ah Fong then joined in, hitting her as well. She also once defecated in a box and forced her to eat it. Though the details of the extent of the torture inflicted by Ah Fong were not released as part of her plea deal, they were extensive. Other tortures Fan went through included chili oil being rubbed into her wounds, her legs and feet being burned with candle wax and hot plastic so that she was unable to walk, and being forced to drink oil. The three would also urinate either on her face or in her mouth, beating her if it was spit out. And she was forced to smile and say she enjoyed the beatings. If she refused to do so, they subjected her to even harsher torture. This torture eventually led to traumatic shock, and Fan succumbed to her injuries between April 14th and April 15th, 1999. Reports differ on whether she died while her captors were out or overnight in captivity. Upon discovering Fan's death, her body was moved to the bathtub and dismembered with a saw. They then cooked the individual pieces of her body to stop her from decomposing and emitting the smell of rotten flesh. During this 10-hour operation to get rid of the body, the group got hungry and started cooking noodles on one hob, while Fan's head was boiling on another, using the same spoon to stir both pots. After her head was boiled down to just a skull, it was then sewed into a Hello Kitty doll, giving the murder its infamous name. Ah Fong was convinced that Fan was haunting her from beyond the grave for what she had done. Whether this came from guilt or drug-induced paranoia, Ah Fong eventually confessed to the police on May 24, 1999. She led authorities to the scene, where Fan's skull, a tooth, and some internal organs were found. SWAT officers arrested Chan at his home on the early morning hours of May 28th. At the time, Chan was living with his wife and their newborn baby. His wife was initially suspected of involvement, but was quickly released due to a lack of evidence. After finding out the murder made it to the media, Wai-lun fled to China and was put on Interpol's most wanted list before getting caught by police on February 14, 2000, after irregularities were found in his passport. The trial began on October 20, 2000, and concluded on December 17, 2000. The jury, consisting of 8 men and 1 woman, could not convict the defendants of murder due to insufficient evidence to prove intent. Instead, Chan, shing-cho, and wai-lun were convicted of manslaughter. Chan Man-lok and wai-lun are currently serving their life sentences in Stanley Prison, and on August 13, 2007, Chan lost his appeal by the request of the court. Fan's skull was returned to her family and cremated on March 26, 2004. The apartment where the crime occurred was demolished in September 2012 and replaced with the Soravit Hotel in 2016, which features 3 Buddha portraits as a memorial. The case inspired films like Human Pork Chop and There Is a Secret in My Soup, both released in 2001. Shing-cho successfully appealed his sentence in 2004, reducing it to 18 years, and was released in 2014. However, in 2022, he was sentenced to 12 months in prison for sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl. The horrifying story of Fan Man-yee remains one of Hong Kong's most infamous and most disturbing crimes to this day.